And welcome back to Atlantic Corp Videos. Let me angle myself a little better. Atlantic Corp Videos. This one comes to us from What If? Who asked the question? What Atlantic Corp does a hero killer stain belong in? All might is worthy. Get my stain impression there for that brief moment. Yes, but Stain is a character who has not reappeared in the story yet. He's alive, and Tartarus is the name of the prison. He'll come back in the story at some point. I'm certain of it. Wouldn't it be great if they let him loose just so he could help the heroes? Like, we let him out under conditions. He's under being monitored. He's got this going on, but he's working with us now. Say, you weakling, you call yourselves heroes. I'll show you what it means. And goes in and starts wreaking havoc on the Nomos. Like, that would be pretty effing sweet. We just saw what happened in the most recent chapter, so that would be pretty effing sweet. But until then, he's locked up, until we get a confirmation whether or not he still is. But the question does raise itself. What Atlantic Corp does he best belong in? So there are three likely candidates in my mind, one of whom I think is the most likely. We'll talk a bit about the ones that he doesn't belong in as well. But let's get a couple of those out of the way. The White and the Black Lantern Corp. He is a living human being, but he's taken enough life that he cannot qualify for a White Lantern. Right? He's just not a good qualifier for life. Black, he's killed a lot of people, but it's not something that he enjoyed. Like, you actually never got the idea that he enjoyed killing. It's that he just felt he needed to get rid of these phony heroes in his mind. But there was never an idea that was like he reveled in it, loved it, and bathed in it. He was death incarnate. No, I never got that indication. Plus, he's never died, nor is he dead. So he can't really qualify for the Black Lantern Corps. Green, however, is a pretty strong candidate. He's obviously clearly a strong, willed individual, building himself up from nothing with a quirk that, let's be honest, it doesn't really hold itself to being a very powerful quirk in and of its own right. You have to be able to cut the individual. So against someone like Hiroshima, if you can't cut him, then you're no good. And even if you can cut someone, if they've got range abilities, if they got a quirk that doesn't have to involve them moving to activate it, then it doesn't really, like Aizawa he can just stare at him and just boom, oh, your quirk's useless, you got my blood, doesn't matter, and there you go. But still, it took a lot of effort to get where he was by the story, where we meet him. So, I mean, in that regard, I gotta give him props for, building himself up, probably from a very low place. Orange, despite, somehow he kind of represents himself, he was not a greedy individual. He was doing what he felt was needed. He's not a poster child for avarice. But nor is he actually a poster child for the Compassion Lantern Corps either. The reason for that being is that there is still it's not, what's the best way to explain this about him in Compassion? It's not like he cares about, the families of the people whose lives he's taken and therefore destroyed. But he clearly has some level of compassion for the society as a whole, because he just feels true heroes are almost completely gone. His mind was the only true hero. But because of that, he feels he's doing this for the betterment of society, showing that he does in fact have compassion in some level for the normal citizens who aren't heroes. Like, he immediately tells Ida to get out of there when they first meet. He didn't want to bother her. He's just a kid. But Ida pressed him, so he pressed back and beat Ida pretty hard. Hell, Ida, Deku, and Shoto only won because they all worked together. And even then, he was still able to get up from that. The fact that he has some compassion kind of disqualifies him from an Indigo Lantern. Either needs to be your dominant trait, or you have to have none of it whatsoever. Complete psychopath or complete sociopath, complete lack of empathy. Another one, though, that I think is very likely, and we're getting to the last two now, so these are the two that are the big qualifiers, and I'll tell you why I think the other one over this one, but is the Yellow Lantern Corps of Fear. And yeah, not only was that reputation well warranted, he scared even Endeavor, who was the number 2 at the time. He scared a veteran like Gran Torino. He scared everyone, pretty much everyone he went up against. He was a scary dude. And he reveled in that. Like, he knew he was scary. He knew his reputation, and he used it. And except for like the League of Villains, and then Kurogiri was still kind of afraid of him. Except for Shigaraki, but Shigaraki's completely insane in his own right. We'll do all the My Hero characters eventually, I'm sure. Just like I did all the Naruto characters, all the Avatar characters. We'll get to those guys eventually. And I've got the Bleach characters up on the listings eventually. Fear would be a prime candidate for him. There's Moving on to love, we can't, even if he did love someone at some point, that's not his driving force. That is not what motivates him. If there is any love in that man's heart still, it's for All Might. He is worthy of being my love. I'm sure there's fan fiction. I am sure there's slash art there of that. But last one to talk about that I don't think qualifies for, though, is a weird one, is Hope. And of all the ones I don't think he qualifies for, this is the one I could actually see a kind of base argument for, because his goal, his mission, his faith was to correct the society by doing what he was doing. And he never wavered in that faith. He kept out hope that he would be able to change the society for the better. And he probably still holds on to that ideology even now. So in a weird roundabout way, he could qualify for Hope. That said, it's clear that there are two other emotions that can dominate him far more than Hope does. Hope or faith does. One is fear, and the other is the one that I personally believe he qualifies for, is the rage. Because let's be honest, what sparked this character to turn into hero? Because they actually said his real name, and I forget it up right now. I'm not going to look it up. But what sparked this character to turn into Stain? It was his disillusionment and his anger at the Hero Society. And you can see that in just the way the character is designed, just the way the character's facial muscles look. The anger of the scenario, the anger of the world, the anger of the society is what fuels him. Like when he basically just says that you are not worthy, only one is worthy, All Might is worthy, and he passes out, basically standing up. Just like that was pure will and rage fueling that man at that point. So while fear is a close second, like I honestly feel like it could be a toss up between those two. Like I would not deny anyone who thought Yellow was his primary Lantern Corp. It's either that or, in my opinion, Red. I think Red nudges out the Yellow, but I think Fear is still a damn good candidate. And I think Green is a solid runner-up to those. It's definitely the least likely of the three, but solid candidate. And as I said, I could see a bare bones argument for a Blue Lantern ring. But ultimately, that's just my opinion. What do you think in the comments below? Put them down. You think it's any one of these three? Maybe the blue I mentioned? Or could you find a legitimate argument for any of the other ones? Put in the comments below and let me know. But thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And hit that bell if you want notifications. We're getting close, by the way, folks. We are getting close to hitting that marker of the 8,000 subs. So you know what happens every time I get 1,000 subs? We do a Q&A. I actually start to look forward to the Q&As when we get close to them. We're not there yet, though, so we still got about, actually, that's a good question. Where are we? 1 second, let me, boop. Where are we right now on our subs? We're close. I know that. We're, less than 100 away. Let's see here. We currently stand, in terms of exact numbers, I can't go with the, true exact at this moment. Somewhere, probably less than 70... Between 70 and 60 subs to go before we get to the next one. I got a unique idea for the next one that I got inspired by one of the other YouTube channels I watch. And by walking through Target, I saw something like, that's not a bad idea to do. So I'm going to play around with that idea, but we got to get to that beforehand. At the rate we're going, though, we will probably hit it before the end of the month. Especially because I got weeks of what ifs and weeks of who would wins to do. And if not, I feel like we'll hit it by the new year, roughly speaking. Well, which is the end of the month. Either way, that's my thoughts for right now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in this is on Tuesday, so I'll see you a little later for the reviews I'm doing, and you'll know already know why I'm doing them. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Later.